What is going on, everybody? It's your boy C Boogie, and welcome back to another episode of Boogie-Ball. This is episode number 2. Again, this is a new series I'm doing. It's a more of a reactions, thoughts kind of series where I go through NBA games, past or present, and we talk about them and kind of give my thoughts on them. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hopefully, this is posted on Monday, the day I'm recording. We're still in the NBA Finals, man. Game 2, Miami, Denver. A little bit of a different game from what I saw. But again, as always, if you are new, welcome in. We do stream on Twitch every night, CBoogie13. So drop a sub on the channel, drop a follow on Twitch, and we do a bunch of stuff there. So alongside me doing gameplays of MLB The Show, NBA 2K, of course, Madden, all that good stuff, you will see this in a playlist on the channel here, so you can come through, drop some comments, let me know what y'all think. And without further ado, man, let's jump straight into Game 2, Miami, Denver, and let's see the difference in the two. And also, shout out to my man Poke. He gave me a great idea, and I'm going to we're actually going to see some interviews between the two coaches, and then we will go into stats and box score and all that. So let's get into it. Game 2.
Last time they lost a home game was back in March in the regular season. And they showed once again how tough they were on the home floor in Game 1 on Thursday night. I think Bam has to go towards the rim, putting more pressure on Jokic as a defender.
That's a good look. That's a good look. That's a good look. It's a little loud. Hold on. So right now it's 7-0. Right now it's 7-0. Interesting. That's a bucket.
You have to try to make them score. You mentioned that about Jokic in the last game, Mark.
That's a good pass. That's a great pass. It's a totally different feel, it looks like. If it's a totally different. Miami's up. They're hitting shots. Strus is hitting shots. Looks a little different. The crowd's like, oh no, what the hell? There's not much you could do about that.
5 on the 24. Strus, long distance, knocks it down. Again, as Lisa Salters reported at the top, Martin questionable before the game. Has been feeling sick last couple of days.
How the hell do you make that?
Just kind of flipped it up and got the soft bounce.
How the hell do you make that?
Shot missed it. Ball deflected. And Brown kept it alive. The rookie Christian Brown fakes. Now drives off the glass. He banks it in.
That's a damn. Man put his head down and said, I'm going to the rim. That's a, I don't even know what you do about that. You just put your hand up and hope for the best.
Excellent defense by the Nuggets. Bruce Brown spots up. Brown knocks it down.
He's just hitting shots.
To get dribble penetration and find it.
Oh, Lowry, beautiful pass. Well defended by Gordon.
Can't do much about that. Great defensive play. Good hustle.
Murray flips it out.
Wide open shot. Bang. So Miami took control of the game, and then Denver said, we're home, buddy. Get out. Damn. He didn't have to do all that. He didn't have to do all that. Jamal, you be nice. Bro, you can't do anything about that. You can't do anything about it. There's not much you could do. There's not much you could do about that. Get up. Hey!
Bruce Brown stripped and stolen by Vincent. Vincent goes right at Christian Brown. Count it and one.
That's not an easy finish. Hanging in midair. So Miami was up, and then Denver went on a run. They got into a little, the momentum went back to Denver, even though Miami came out shooting the ball pretty well. You can tell it's a different type of vibe. That's. These are just all tough shots. Now Miami's down 6. They're up by. You saw they're up 10-2, which was a big. Oh my God. I don't know how he made that. I don't know how he made that. Bam has been hitting those all these last 2 games, man. It's great to see him do that. Lean, wow, basically fading away back to the 3-point line.
He leads all scores. And Jokic's pass was another brilliant read.
That's an easy read. That's a good read. It's a 2-point. It was a great game, honestly. Both games really good. Not scooped it. Not an easy shot.
Gordon the rebound gets it out, ball loose, picked up by Jokic. Vincent all over him, and the shot is good.
You can't do anything about that.
2.5 to go here in the third. Jokic backs in.
It's not much you could do. There's not much you could do, man.
Jokic looking to take Zeller, backs down.
No way. I still don't know how he made that. I still don't know. I still don't know how he made that.
Zeller, head down, lost it, deflected, stolen by Brown. Here comes Jokic, bringing it up the floor, going coast to coast layup. It's good, off the glass.
Jokic taking over.
Here in the third quarter.
This man Jokic, I think, had like 16, 18 points in the third. It was a Jokic takeover. Oh, Duncan. Everything runs on Duncan. Duncan's also had a great playoff run. Everybody wanted him traded, though.
Sitting on the sideline. Duncan Robinson drives and finishes.
I'm
Impressed with the improvement by
Duncan literally just taking it off the dribble. Literally just taking it off the dribble. This shot had me losing my mind. Like, what? You're in your bag. You must be in your bag to take a shot like that. Even I was literally like that.
Vincent's been the Heat's leading scorer. Open three, Gabe Vincent knocks it down. Gabe Vincent is 4th three-pointer. And Miami, their first
They caught him
lead
sleeping on that play.
second quarter. 4 of
No
5
cap.
from downtown. Miami's overcome a 15-point deficit. Duncan Robinson drives and finishes. Another tough shot.
This. Hold on. I have to. Look at Denver fans are like, what is this dude me mugging about? I love it. It was a good move by Duncan, though. Good move by Duncan.
10 straight points. And 1 game apiece in hand. Denver, their first home loss of these playoffs. Lowry, Adebayo jumper, got it. The Heat 6 for 6 from the field here in the 4th quarter.
6 for 6.
Jokic telling him to get it inside, catches.
It's not much you could do there. There's literally not much you could do. We talked about in episode 1.
For Nikola Jokic.
He just makes a very smart read.
From Robinson, trying to find an opening. Butler, corner three. It's good. Jimmy Butler, his 2nd three-pointer of the game.
Jimmy's hitting threes now in the clutch.
Caldwell pulled back up top. Murray on the drive, off balance. Bank shot is good. Adebayo catches, kicks it out in the corner. Butler on the drive, the floater's good, and the foul. Well, just
I'll be honest, I didn't see how that was a foul at first, and then they showed it as slow-mo, and I was like, oh, okay.
Murray inside,
Again,
Jokic turns and
all
scores.
Bam could do is put his hand up.
The ball hits the rim so softly.
Lowry with 6 to shoot. Caldwell Pope chasing with 5 fouls. Inside, Adebayo and a foul. What a pass and finish. The lead is 10 and a chance for a 3-point play.
Damn.
Murray, oh, nice fake. Drive back to
Easy
Jokic.
layup. It's too easy for this man. Now you can see Miami's making a run. They're kind of in control of the game.
Jumper short.
But Denver is a good team, and Caleb Martin.
Puts it in. Caleb Martin from downtown.
Okay. And then there goes Miami again.
Using the screen 4 on the 24. Cross court Gordon. Gordon tries a 3-pointer. Got it.
And then there goes Denver again. It was just going back and forth. And then Murray again.
That's
This game was insane. This game was nuts.
Jimmy Butler, jump shot.
Then Miami goes.
Big buckets from Jimmy Buckets here in the fourth. Jokic calling for it. Now goes it out of Bile, flips it up. Bank shot won't go. Can't get the rebound. Brown, his floater is
Then Denver again.
Murray. Up top, Caldwell Pope, 3-pointer.
Got to get a rebound here.
Jokic trying to grab the
Bad plays, bad time. Jamal, let it rain. Then Denver goes.
Butler with 6 to shoot. Butler fakes back to Adebayo, goes inside, and is fouled.
They foul Bam, which he's been shooting great from the free throw line.
And Adebayo knocks that first one down. Another 20-point game.
So he hits the first.
9 rebounds, 4 assists.
Knocks down the second. Now it's a 5-point game with 40 seconds left.
Adebayo on him.
They go back to Jokic.
All over him. Jokic layup shot.
Not much you could do. It's not much you could do.
Butler outside Martin, back up top Butler. Butler
Jimmy.
off the side of the rim, Brown the rebound.
And now this is where we're going to have to talk about it for a couple minutes.
I'm taking a foul, I'm not allowing them to get off the three.
They get aboard with about 12, 13 seconds left. Step back. No good.
Fight for the rebound, Martin, and it's over.
Miami, hold on. But I kind of want to talk about this for a couple minutes before we switch over. I was talking about this in my my chat. Shout out to the Lob Mob. I was talking to them last night, and we were talking. We were kind of just like, what could he have done differently? He didn't call a timeout. All right, fine. So at the time of the rebound,
A three-pointer
let me see something.
off the side.
So he gets it at about 12 seconds. Okay. Okay, so right here, high screen and roll with Jokic. We gave Vincent on him. He switches on to Jimmy. So now Jimmy's on him. This right here, I think, was a big part of the play that no one's really talking about. Jimmy pokes the ball loose. It forces Jamal to kind of step back a little bit. I'm assuming Jamal had a move in his head, and Jimmy kind of pushed him back, forced him to kind of redirect things. So this, I believe, was a very important part. So he stops him. So now Jamal has to do a complete spin around. He doesn't set another screen. He creates enough space. He created a pretty decent amount of space on Jimmy. And Jimmy, low-key late to contest, but he does enough in his shooting angle. Just won't go. That's it. It was interesting. It was definitely an interesting shot. I thought it was a good shot. I don't think they could have drawn up anything better. I think Malone just wanted to try to get Miami's defense off its game. Usually when you don't call a timeout, it forces defense to kind of make moves without setting up fully. But, yeah, man, Miami, hold on, 111-108, series tied. A lot different of a game for many reasons, but we'll go into that. But I first want to actually go through what Coach Malone and Coach Spoelstra said. So let's take a look for these couple of minutes for each of the coaches and kind of see their different mindsets and what's going on.
Can you kind of, I don't know, figure out why do you think your starters that weren't Joker struggled scoring, I guess?
Well, I don't think that's the biggest question. Now let's talk about effort. I mean, this is the NBA Finals, and we're talking about effort. That's a huge concern of mine. You know, and you guys probably thought I was just making up some storyline after Game 1 when I said we didn't play well. We didn't play well. And tonight, you know, that the starting lineup to start the game is 10-2 Miami. Start the third quarter, they scored 11 points in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Damn. And we just got, you know, we had guys out there that were just, whether feeling sorry for themselves for not making shots or thinking they can just turn it on or off. This is not the preseason. This is not the regular season. It's not round. This is the NBA Finals.
He's right.
And that to me is really, really perplexing, disappointing. And I asked the team, I asked our players, you guys tell me why we lost. And they knew the answer. Miami came in here and outworked us. And we were by far our least disciplined game of these 16 or 17 playoff games, whatever it is now. So many breakdowns. And they exploited every one of those breakdowns and scored. So if we're going to try to go down there and regain control of this series and get home court advantage back, we're going to have to outwork Miami, which we didn't do tonight, and our discipline is going to have to be off the charts.
You said Jamal got a good look at it. Did you at all consider calling a timeout there, or do you like it when it's in transition and you can kind of scramble the defense and maybe catch them a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's dependent upon the situation, and their half-court defense was giving us a lot of trouble in that fourth quarter.
It's a good point.
You take a timeout, you let them get set.
Yep,
you let
there
them
it is.
review whatever play they think that we're going to run, and there's a great chance that we don't get a quality shot like Jamal got, which was online, and from my perspective, looked like it had a great chance of going in. And we've seen Jamal make shots like that before. So
interesting.
Some nights, I think we can take the timeout. Other nights, give our guys the freedom to get out and run. But with how well they were guarding in that quarter and how hard it was for us to generate great looks, I felt in that transition we're gonna have the best chance to get the look that we wanted.
Okay. So now let's look at Coach Spo. Well, before we even get into that, I think it's very important. Coach Malone made a very good point. In terms of effort, you can tell that Denver throughout the game, and you could see from my angle too, couple of spurts within you honestly want to say the fourth quarter where things weren't clicking. Offensively, that translated to defensive breakdown, which is, what he talked about. He said that guys were probably feeling sorry for themselves because they weren't hitting shots. But ultimately, that's what it came down to. Again, I think both teams worked their absolute butts off in this game because this was a game that both teams could have necessarily won. Miami was down at 15 at one point, crawled back. Their half-court defense, I will say Miami's defense was very solid in that fourth. And even in the first quarter when they were kind of making that little run at the beginning, they kind of set a tone. And when you set a tone most of the time, regardless of if you go down a little bit, you're already locked into the point of what you need to do. So you got to give credit to them. But Denver didn't. Again, both teams are not going to show quit, not going to show die. They're not going to do any of that. They're going to go out there and they're going to play hard. So this was a game for anyone. Similar to the last game where Denver got out to a crazy run and then Miami tried to fight its way back is exactly what happened this game. Miami ended up against a 41-14 run that Denver put on and ended up winning this game. They did enough at the right time. The same thing with Denver. Denver did enough at the right time. This series so far, these past two games, these teams are fighting each other. It's a war. They're fighting back, regardless of how many points you're up by, regardless of how many, regardless of anything really. They're working. So it was very interesting to hear Malone say effort was their biggest problem. And he was basically saying like they were missing shots, but they weren't trying to catch it back up. They weren't trying to make it up on defense, which he said something he's going to have to look forward to Game 3. But Denver fans, listen, y'all worked. It's 1-1. No one's 1-4 yet. It's anybody's game going back to Miami. Miami's going to have to find a way to protect home court, but Denver is in this position for the reason it's their first home loss of the preseason. Preseason, you hear me? He was talking about preseason, postseason. In the playoffs, their first home loss, period. That's a big, big deal. So let's see what Coach Spo has to say about Game 2.
Back in Denver where the Heat knocked down 17 threes and take Game 2. Here's head coach Eric Spoelstra.
Yes, Tim Reynolds, excuse me.
Spo, can you take us into the fourth quarter huddle? And I know that's being in that spot is a place where you guys have gotten obviously very comfortable this year, but the mindset, knowing the stakes of the next 12 minutes, what was said in that huddle?
I don't totally remember. I think we were like talking about some schematics. It was more about that. This is complex.
This is complex.
Basically, every other huddle we're talking about what it's going to require and all those extra efforts and physical plays without fouling, just making winning plays. but I think at that time we were talking about some schematics. This is a really good, offensive team. They force
true.
you to have to compete at a super high level, but you have to do it with a brain, and you have to do it.
You have to do it with the brain. He's right. He's right.
And our guys, regardless of how the head coach feels like during the fourth quarter, our guys love to compete. They love to put themselves out there in those moments of truth. And fortunately, we were able to make a lot of big defensive plays, down the stretch, and then we got a lot of contributions, which you're going to need against a team like this. That some of that run happened with JB on the bench. Their run in the second quarter happened with Jokic on the bench. But Duncan's minutes were really good. Kyle just has this veteran championship experience that just kind of settles everybody, and he just makes the big appropriate plays, or big plays at the appropriate times. And then Bam, we just
Bam. Look at Bam, man. So inspirational.
How difficult his responsibilities are in this series.
Mm-hmm.
To take arguably the toughest cover in the league.
Yep.
For all the myriad of reasons that I don't need to get into.
Yep.
And then he has to shoulder a big offensive role for us as well. So it's not like he can just stand and rest.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
He has to play 40-plus minutes as well.
All right. So with that being said, let's get into the stats. But what Coach Spo said, they're not an easy team to defend. Off, they're a great offensive team, and there's a lot to draw up. Spo's been in this position before where he's had to kind of find his way around offensive that just find a way to make things look so easy for them. The baskets and the buckets come to them. They don't force them. And he's right. Bam's a very important part of the series. He has to guard the toughest big in the league. The most skilled big in the league, because he could do it all. And they also, part of the interview that you guys didn't see was when they talked to Spo and asked him about making Jokic a scorer, not a passer. Jokic is the MVP in the league, okay? You can't, he said it. He's like, you can't make him just one or the other. Like, Jokic is going to be Jokic. He's gonna pass, he's going to score, he's going to rebound. He's going to do all that. That's how good he is. So it wasn't so much of let's make Jokic a scorer, not a passer. Jokic is going to get his regardless. So let's just relax. Jokic is a bucket. Jokic is a freaking diamond machine. Jokic is a glass cleaner. He's going to do whatever he needs to do. So I think Spo made some really great points there. And he said big contributions from the guys, great minutes, especially with Jimmy Butler on the bench. Credit to Denver with Jokic on the bench. They went on a big run. That third quarter belonged to Jokic solely, I would argue. So this game was a little different. First off, field goal percentage, fairly similar, 48.7 to 52. 3-point percentage, Miami shot 48.6, Denver 39.3. So definitely the team's numbers did go up in terms of 3-point percentage. 20 free throws to 22. There's a little bit of a difference here. I know our first episode we talked about the lack of free throw shooting and it getting to the basket. Miami was able to get a couple more whistles their way, and they were able to knock them down. So that was really good. Rebounds, Denver, they out rebound Miami. It's if you didn't see the game, it was looking like it, which is surprising. Assists, very similar, 28 to 23. 7-5 in terms of steals, 42 on blocks. Turnovers, 14-11. Not bad. Both teams have kind of been in that little margin of 2 or 3 turnovers. They've kind of made sure to really protect the basketball. Points off turnovers was big for both teams, I would assume. That second quarter for Denver, there were a couple turnovers, and you can kind of see them leak out and get some buckets. Same for Miami. Fast break points, which leads off to the points and turnovers, 18. That was also another thing. They would just get the ball and run. and they would get guys open in the corner. They'd get guys, cut into the basket. So it was kind of tough. Points in the paint, very close to it too. Very similar. That's kind of where many of their fast break points came from. But again, Jokic can basically get whatever he wants wherever he wants. So 48 points in the paint to the 34 makes a lot of sense. But Miami made up for the 14 less from a three-point line. So that was great. 15-point lead, 12-point lead. So both teams kind of had a lead, and both teams were just fighting it off. 22-2. Oh, 22-2. You hear me? 22-21 fouls. But again, free throw disparity was a little different. So overall, the teams did step up their game. But you could see that Denver in that fourth quarter kind of took their foot off the gas, even when the game was close. Guys, I call them the supporting cast. I don't like calling them the role players. The supporting cast really found a way to fight off the crowd, because the crowd was amazing again, and they made plays when it mattered. Cannot stress enough how big Kevin Love was. I know it doesn't look like it. 6 and 10, plus 18. He played a big role. He did, Spoelstra made a couple of changes. So it was really good for him to kind of produce the way he did. Jimmy had 21 and 9 with 4, 2 for 5, 7 for 19. Again, not a great Jimmy Butler game. I wouldn't say he played great. He played good, and he made some very big buckets and made some very big plays down the stretch in that fourth quarter. So you can only imagine how many people looked at some of those plays. The corner three, that midi put him up by 8. It was big. Bam, I don't need to say much about Bam. Bam has been playing great. He has to keep attacking the drop coverage, hit the midi, hit that nice little floater, that little jump hook. So they did a great job there. Plus 17. Don't need to say much. 4 assists, 9 rebounds. Gabe, 23 points, game high. 4 for 6, 8 for 12, plus 22. Can't stress enough how big of a part Gabe has played as this. We talked about also on stream, the combo guard. I say 3 and D, but combo guard is the best way that he play makes. He can play defense. So he does enough for Miami. Strus, another big game. I know he went 4 for 10, but that's better than him going 0 for 10. And those shots really started that momentum in that first quarter. So good for him. Duncan, 10 points in that fourth. Not much needs to be said there. He made plays that kind of sucked the life out the Denver crowd a little bit. He flexed on him, which was crazy. Highsmith only had 6 minutes, which was interesting. Caleb only played 21 minutes. He had 5 rebounds. That's still big. I know he had -7, but he also hit a big 3 on the wing that put us up by, I believe, 12. I forgot in the game how big it was. I believe it put us up by double digits. If I'm not mistaken. And again, I say us. I've been a Heat fan for so long, so I'm so you guys know who I'm talking about. Kyle Lowry, big game. I know it says -15, but he did also facilitate 2 for 3. So that was great. So overall, great performance by Miami. They all had to put in work. They all had to fight to get this win. For Denver, 12 points for Michael Porter, 7 rebounds, 5 for 7. Sorry, Michael Porter. Aaron Gordon went 5 for 7. Michael Porter went 2 for 8, 1 for 6. Again, still good look. So if I'm a Denver fans, don't be discouraged. Michael Porter is taking good shots. I'd rather him take those shots than not. I know he only had 5 points. Everybody's like, oh, he sucks. He's taking good shots. Things like this happen. Jokic, 41, 11, and 4. Again, it's rare I see Jokic only have 4 assists in a game. Miami did something right there. 5 turnovers. That was big. 16 for 28 is insane. Jamal Murray, 18 points, 7 for 15, 3 for 8, 10 assists, so another double-double. Again, Jamal and Jokic are going to get buckets. They're going to produce. Caldwell Pope, 1 for 4. Jeff Green, 9 points, which is big for them. Bruce Brown also killing it, 11, 2 steals and 5 rebounds. And then Braun, even Braun went kind of crazy. But again, there was those little spurts that Jokic was on the court that they were able to kind of spark that run. If you see 34-25, 36-25, so you can tell that the quarters belong to who. And this one was Jokic right here. Third quarter was Jokic. Second was Denver. First was a little bit of both. Fourth quarter was Miami. You could tell. Just like I always end, a couple of remarks. If I'm a Heat fan, great energy, great pace. Got to keep shooting the ball well. Force them into making tough shots because they did contest them a lot better this game. They were doing a little zone man mix-up, which kind of took Denver off guard. A couple of guys a little uncomfortable in some of the positions that they're usually in. And then if I'm a Denver fan, man, you guys fight. Jokic is getting buckets. Aaron Gordon's still getting the looks he wants. Michael Porter's still getting the looks that he wants. Jamal's getting them. Everybody's getting them. It's just those couple little lapses where they, like Mike Malone said, they felt a little sorry for themselves. Instead of making up for it on defense, they just were pissed off that they were missing shots. But again, the shots are going to come. As long as you take good shots, they're going to fall eventually. So listen, I thought that was a hell of a game. Game 2. Game 3's in Miami on Wednesday. So I'm excited for that, man. It's 1-1. First team to 4. The Heat have home court advantage now. 3 of the last, look, if you look here, 1, 2, 3. So 3 of the last 5 are in Miami. They have home court again. They have to take advantage of that. But if I'm Denver, actually, no, as a Heat fan, Denver is going to come in there and they're going to play ball. These two teams are going to play. Clearly, leads don't matter because these teams will fight them off. But overall, I thought it was a great game. I thought this game was a lot better than the first one. Not even for who won or anything like that, but you could just tell like each team conquered a quarter, kind of fought each other off in between, and then the other team took control of the other quarter. Because the second and fourth is when really those teams are making the runs. And, hey, man, that's game 2. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Like I said, drop some comments. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know what you guys thought of the game. Some adjustments that need to be made. Again, it's an effort thing in Denver's side, and it's a tempo thing on Miami's side. Because Denver plays with a little more effort, they may have won that game. If Miami doesn't play with the same tempo that they did, start off and set a tone, things might be a little different. So it's literally effort versus tempo and tone. And Miami's home, so they have to feed off that crowd. But again, Denver can go into any court and take you down. So with that being said, man, I hope y'all enjoyed episode 2 of Boogie-Ball. I'll be back for game 3 on Thursday. Hopefully I'll have it posted up on Thursday. Hopefully this video is posted up today on Monday. And like I said, man, if y'all have any ideas of past games y'all want me to run through, I'll run through them. And I'll give you my thoughts on them. But like I said, I appreciate everybody. And as always, have no fear. Boogie-Ball is here. And I'll see y'all for game 3. I'm out.